Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thomas, nice to see you again. Our Paris traveler, he was in New York. Dante, Mr. The Thing Ice Age man, who is there in Sweden right now at minus, what did you say, 17 degrees?
So this morning before light came, it was minus 17. Wow. Suddenly.
And how does your equipment sound? Does it sound better at that temperatures, or same, or bad?
We'll see. We'll see. Usually, the cables don't like it too much.
Yeah, that's true. You traveled to Brisbane, right? Was it Brisbane?
No, Brisbane is in Australia. No, Bristol.
Yeah. Bristol, right? You're right. Of course, it was Bristol. And you traveled to Den Bosch.
Yeah, and Amsterdam. And Utrecht.
And what?
And Utrecht as well.
Okay. I just understood, and I crashed. Okay, so you didn't crash, you were in Utrecht. So this stream will be a little different than the other Wall of Record streams, because probably today we talk a little more than usual, because of course we want to talk about the New York Record Fair, the one that Thomas visited. Of course, Thomas is also a profound visitor of Den Bosch, so he can compare both very well. And Stunty was in Den Bosch, and he talks about his adventurous time of the weekend over there. And then maybe we even compare it a little bit and talk about both fairs and what's possible in both places, right?
That's the plan.
That's the plan. But first off, of course, Thomas, what did we just listen to?
It was a record that I bought in New York, and I think it's a bit fun that you have good soul records, you have bad soul records, you have good rock records, you have bad soul. But there's also a category called meditation music.
Mm-hmm.
And I will see this is one of the good meditation albums that I have. It's like 20 minutes tracks on both sides, and I heard it earlier today, and I was nearly sleeping while I was working.
But Thomas, was that a blind buy, or did you hear about that record or cover buy? What was it?
I sometimes when I'm looking at a shop that have good records, I ask them, what is the best record that I don't know about that you have in the shop? And then if I trust them, I just buy it. And this guy, he really loved this album. But it was one of the sellers at the Human Heads at the
Travis.
one of Travis' guys who recommended this one.
Oh, cool.
I have a recommendation from one of the other guys I'll play a little bit later. That's very different from this one.
Stanti, would that be a question you would ask in a record store? Because I really love that question.
Yeah.
You would do that?
Not exactly that way, but like a version of that, yeah.
You can always tell if they tell the truth if you ask them which record do you really don't want to sell, that you just bring but hope nobody will buy. Then you can see if they tell the truth, okay, I need to get that one, or at least hear it.
Yeah, I agree. So, with which record fair do we start? I think the New York Record Fair was earlier, so let's start with that one. Thomas, you went there. How long have you stayed there? Are you satisfied with the records you got over there? And what was your general impression of the record fair?
That was like a lot of questions in one, but I came there. I came Wednesday, and I spent the Thursday and Friday. I spent in the shop at Human Head because I did bring a lot of records to exchange with some of his stuff. But he was very busy, very, very busy, because he I think he brought 10,000 records to the record fair, and he has 10 people sitting there for him. So it was a big thing for him to price, and so he was so busy. And I was there, and Louis and a lot of friends was there. All wanted to get part of him. But Travis is like a whale, right? He can handle it. Yeah, very well. But on the Friday, he had like a pre-sale of the stuff that he would bring to the record fair for exclusive customers.
Whereabouts in the shop?
In the shop, yeah. So I think there came like 50 to 80 people. I think it started 8 in the evening Friday. Okay. And they come and picked up, and he was so busy, and I started DJing with records I bring there, and so I ended up just being there. I didn't get much around those days.
So I think we forgot to give some context for some people who would not know anything about it. There's a record fair in New York that is supposed to be the biggest one in the US, not necessarily in size, but in quality. It's one of the 2-3 biggest in Northern America still. But there's the one in Austin that is like a couple of weeks before, I think. And then there's also one in Canada. And then there's also one in California that is up and coming. It's still not that big. And then there's the one in New York that has been going on for quite a few decades. Thomas, you would say?
Yeah, I don't know how many years, but it's been a while. Yeah.
And it's a very different setting than the one in Europe we're going to talk about. But I just thought like maybe it's good to give a little more context.
Yeah, a little more context. Chad called me and he said, "Oh, I met Thomas because Thomas and Chad knows each other from the mastering in Abbey Road, and a lot of nice people over there. I saw photos here. Joe Blair. I saw photos with Chad. I think Manch Mitchell was there. Jason was there. You probably met some amazing people, right?
I met a lot of amazing people. Yeah, a lot from the overseas here. Like, there was actually a lot of people that I knew that I didn't know there.
Okay, good.
It was really, really, really a pleasure to meet the people. It was so nice, and everybody was so kind to me.
Grass is saying that his first double FMU was 1992, which means it's been going on for longer than Bosch then. Yeah. Oh wait, no. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But it's only once a year, Thomas, right? Or do they do two? Also one in March, April.
As I know, they only do one a year. I only heard about this one in November, and it's for 2 days. So you don't have the pre-day where you can come and do before, but you can pay extra and come in the morning 10 o'clock, where if you pay less, you can come in from 1 o'clock.
Apparently next year they're gonna do 3 days now, and that's Thomas said it like this is such a different mentality as well. You can get, if you pay more, you can get prime access at 10 o'clock. Prime access in Den Bosch is 6:30 in the morning on Friday. It's like it's like 27 and a half hours ahead of general audience.
Yeah, but Stunty, but if I remember correctly, the Friday is 20 times as expensive as the other 2 days.
It's I mean, not exactly, but it is like a lot more expensive.
A huge difference.
You pay 75 euros to get access for the whole 3 days. If you go
and
only
you
on Saturday,
and you pay 5 euros for each other day.
No, you don't pay anything more. It's all included.
Wait, 1 second. For Saturday and Sunday, you pay 5 euros.
In Den Bosch, each day? No, it's 10 or 12.
Oh, okay, 10.
Yeah.
And so it's it's 5. Okay, it's 5 times as much. Yeah.
Here you pay for both days with the early access. On Saturday you pay $30.
Yeah. And Thomas, as you know both, just in a few words, what's the biggest difference between Den Bosch and the New York Record Fair?
The biggest difference is the Americans. I think that the America is so big, and they listen so much to their own music. I come from Denmark. We have not that much good music, so you have to listen to music for all over countries. Like American, a lot of the records there are American, Brazilian. Not much further than that.
Interesting. Yeah, and the sheer size of it, right?
The size of it, yeah. I don't. How many are there in Den Bosch? Is that like 800 to 1,000 sellers?
Yeah, it's like when you add it all together, it's around 1,000 sellers. Yeah.
I would say here is around 80.
Okay, that's so 12 times more. Okay, wow.
It's very small.
It's 14 times more, Michael.
10? No, 12.
But like often in the VC, when I talk with American music lovers and all that, and we talk about what we listen to, and they say they listen to a little bit of everything, and I ask for, so can you be more specific? Yeah, I called. This is him getting back at me for calling him weak like 10 times during the Den Bosch. But they will say, oh yeah, I listen to jazz, to folk, to blues, to rock and roll, to heavy metal, to hip hop, to soul. Oh yeah, so you listen to American music.
Mm. So is it more an inbreeding in the US and the Europeans are more open?
I think inbreeding is not the word you wanted to choose, Michael.
Call it whatever you want.
But like as Thomas said, like it's like the difference from like it's so big that it takes quite some time before they start to see like above, further away.
Yeah, but Santi, there has to be a reason. If it's, to my mathematics, it's 12 times, to yours it's 14 times, but hey, who cares? 12 times larger, 14 times larger is a statement. It has to have to do with the collectors. There has to be a reason.
It's true, because it's not like there's a lack of space in the US. If someone wanted to make the largest record fair in the world, in the US, it would totally be possible.
Yeah. So why isn't
we
there?
Come?
But why isn't there?
Well, there's more people in Europe than in the US.
Yeah, but not that many more. Not 12 times.
25% more.
Yeah. So that's nothing. And I think if you consider the way of collecting, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the collections of the US collectors are way larger by numbers than the European collections.
I don't know about that. Maybe you're right. Probably because, like, if you're not like in the big city, you also have more room.
Exactly. So it's not that rare that you have a collection in the United States of 10, 12, 15, 20,000 records. It's not that rare. In Europe,
Jeremy here, he makes a good point that double FMU is like a associative thing compared to Den Bosch, which is a business. But yet, no one has done that business in the US. Have you talked about that with Travis, Thomas, maybe?
Why they don't have a huge?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they think like Europeans does. And it is also a little bit weird that there's one so big as the one that are in Den Bosch.
Yeah, maybe it's the Den Bosch one that is the anomaly, Michael.
Yeah, I think that's the one that
maybe it is.
Yeah.
Would you say that, Santi? Would you say that Den Bosch is an anomaly?
Anomaly. This well, this past weekend, I would say so. Definitely. You know me. You know I have a big want list, but I also have a very compact one of the absolute top of the cream. I got 11 records from my real want list out of 68 records. That's not normal.
No, that's not. That's not. For me, that never worked out. But we get into that after your next song, Santi. Let's play some music. Just for. Oh, you're not ready. Oh, Santi.
I have
not at all. Yeah, come on, Thomas. You save us. Save us, Thomas. And then the next one is on Santi. Oh, that was a nice intermezzo.
Yeah, it's. I traveled to New York with a friend of mine, and he saw that, and it was like, okay, you need to get this one. It's one that he always kept in his own collection. And the funny thing is that we know a guy in Denmark who has a record company called Music from Memory, and it's taken from that album. Kenneth Banger is his name, and.
Actually, it's a little more complicated than that. And Michael, you have that record, I'm pretty sure. I think
I know.
the first time we went to Den Bosch together, I told you to get it.
I have that. Yeah.
I
I hate to be a smart ass, so that's why I shut up when it comes to situations like that. And yeah, Stanti, you had a very successful Den Bosch.
I just want to say a thing about that record more. Because Music from Memory it's basically an emanation of the Red Light Record shop in Amsterdam. They were founded by three guys, the guy Thomas was talking about, and Taco from Red Light District, and James, who passed away 2 years ago. And indeed, that record was their inspiration to start the label, Music from Memory, that has like about 70 releases now, which is mostly ambient from all around the world. And not necessarily music that is ambient. It's like between new age, ambient, folk, percussion records. And I remember the first time I went to Red Light District, Taco made me put that in my hands in 2012, I think, right like a year before they started it. And yeah, of course, I bought it, and they had stock copies of that, so it became sort of a story for them. Like they had sort of an ownership of that record, because no one really cared about it until they found that stock of it and started to spread the word about it. Voila.
Okay, now that you did that, well, that was very helpful. Thank you, Stanti. And now talk about your, in general, maybe we start with the in general impressions of your Den Bosch visit this year.
I had a little bit of a larger budget than usual.
Why?
And because I
No, I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that question.
And I even I did what I did a little more seriously. I came also with a few records for trading.
Yeah, you're right. You did that for the very first time, at least since I know you. You never did that when we went there together, right?
I did last time, but wasn't too successful, or didn't try too much, not enough. This time I brought one record that was already planned to be traded with someone. It was like we talked about it, and I didn't know if it would happen, but like that was the plan. And OGC seems to think he's my father now. Like this is delusional. He lives in Saint-Etienne.
Yeah, but maybe that was my thought too, Stanti. Are you sure he isn't?
Oh yeah. He lives in Saint-Etienne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good good arguing. Yeah.
No, but so I don't know if you've ever had that, Thomas. Like when you come more prepared than usual, and as you approach the date, you're starting to think, shit, maybe I won't find anything, or maybe I'll spend it all on one record.
No, Stanti. No, Stanti. Sorry if I ask a question, you answer Thomas, but I just do. Nobody comes as prepared as you. And those thoughts are Stanti thoughts, not thoughts of average people. sorry, Thomas. But no, you answer.
I would say my thoughts are: can I carry what I buy home?
Yeah.
Or do I need to arrange some boxes to be shipped? Do I need to arrange a pallet?
But that's the thing. I had exactly the same thought. Like it's either will I be able to carry it home, or will I only find one record?
Because then you don't buy €5 records right away, because you know then you won't be able to carry it home.
You know, this time I don't know if it qualifies as figuring out something, but I've decided for myself that you've been there a few times with me, Michael, and if you remember, you got records often long before me, before I got my first one.
Have I been with you, or have you been with me, or have we been there together?
The world stopped rotating because of that question, Michael.
Yeah, for me it does, because in my world we went there together.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And but do you remember that often you would start to get your first records before I did mine, and I would get a little bit frustrated and like, oh, I don't know, and eventually, of course, I get records. But like, I figured this time that the best way to approach it is that the very first record you buy, it needs to be something you really want. Don't get something just to get it because you're starting to get frustrated.
Very good point.
Exactly.
Very good point. But Stunty, when we went there together the very first time, we were there together all the time.
Yeah.
And you digged. I made streams, and you were the only one who digged through, let's say, 60% of the whole exhibition, and everybody who knows or has been into Den Bosch knows that this is an unbelievable achievement, but you did it. After that year, I changed, for me, the way of doing it. I just walk around, will look at the wall, interesting, not interesting, and then if it's interesting, I start to look at the booth. You are a true digger. You are a true digger. I am not. In a way, Thomas is also not a digger in your sense of digging.
No, I go to New York and say I won't buy anything. That's my opinion when I go into the record fair. And then I seize a record and I'm a little bit, should I have an affair with that record?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just a small affair with that record, because and then you hear a track from it and you fall in love and you can't do anything.
Yeah, but Thomas, you are different in a way too, because when you go to that and when you go privately on those kind of fairs, you are looking for the really, really, really rare stuff. You don't look for, Thomas, you don't look for a British first pressing of Duran Duran Rio. Oh. You don't.
That's again because I can't carry it home.
Okay, whatever. But you don't. You're not into that.
No, it's. I'll get tired before I get to ABBA. Then you know, it has to be really, really good and jump on you. You can't take more. And if I go into that deep with Duran Duran or whatever it could be. And I know my business. I cannot buy a 10-euro record and sell it for 20 and earn money on it. I will lose money because I need. They want the cash money there, and I need to pay taxes every time I sell. I need to permission. It will never be so. If I need to earn money on a Duran Duran, I need to buy 10,000 records where I get everything quite cheap, and then I can get something out of it. So I don't look in those bins. But I know there will be something that I want in them. But my brain has more than enough to do with find out what's on the walls, and those who have good walls, what do they have in the bins?
It's interesting in the sense that when you're looking for a lot of things, and when you think you're kind of like, you have, from my perspective, you have to be able to shift gears during a 3 days thing like that. Like, when you think you've exhausted the walls, the desirable items, to find motivation to go look in the cheaper stuff where you might find something really extraordinary, it's not easy to shift gear psychologically. But
very true, Stunty. Very true. Very true.
And if you go to what's difficult, if I look at the wall he's selling jazz records I really like, you won't find any cheap jazz records in his bins as well. You need to go to a guy who sell house music and look into his jazz records. There you'll find the cheap one, because he don't want to spend the time finding out what those records are worth. So you find the good stuff where you don't supposed to find them. If you know, you understand.
The thing also is that most of us, we travel quite a lot to get to a place like that, and same with WFMU. A lot of people travel a lot for the opportunity to dig on a much larger pool than we usually have access to. So I go for 3 days, actually for 4 days. There's even stuff happening on the Tuesday, and I'm there 6:30 on Friday. They close at 5, which means I could still be inside at 6, which means I'm 11 hours walking, digging without stop. Like, you have a good breakfast before, but no, there's no break to be taken, and that for 3 days. So of course you get exhausted. You get, like, your feet are like crying and begging you to stop or something. So there will be a moment when you do that, like, where you need to really be able to sort of meditate or something to be able to think straight. Because the thing I was saying earlier, that, like, try to have your very first purchase be something that feels like a treat, that you're really doing yourself a present, because that will put you in a good mood, and it helps your health, it helps your negotiation, it helps everything. Like, when you approach a seller and you have a smile, it's much easier, in my opinion, to trade than if you're like, if you look tired, angry, frustrated. There's a seller that it took me 3 days of massaging him to get to the price I wanted. In the end, he told me, like, yeah, you can have it, because firstly, I'm the only one who gave him a real number. Like, everyone was playing poker with him and hoping for him to say a number first, and I gave him a number, and then I was nice and happy and joyful, and I got the record in the end.
Which record we talk after your first record of the evening, Stunty?
My first. Okay. Let me think about what was my first record of.
Oh, you play music now?
Yeah. I was about to say, let me think about it while I play a record.
Okay, yeah, I do. Of course I do. That's why I say, let's play your first piece of music tonight, because it's still the wall of records.
Indeed.
Say
So this sucks donkey ass, Michael.
Yeah, of course it does. It's a stunty record. Of course it does.
It's an Italian collective of musicians that are fairly new, which I like. It's one of the records I've been listening to the most in the past 2 months, and it's really great. It's the kind of records you hear online a little bit, and like, okay, and then it stays in your mind. You go back to listen to it, and like, okay, I need to spend some time with this. I got it, and it was a good choice. I played it on the street.
But not a Den Bosch choice, right?
No. I had to grab something, and it's
of
a
course.
record I haven't talked too much about, and I thought like, okay, so UFO Bar. And after I played it, like 10 days later, the guys from the collective contacted me on Instagram, actually. So the world is small, and it's Pierre here, he says Golem with Current 93.
Yeah.
I would say Anstoßende Neubauten on a K-hole in the Amazonian forest or something. It's which means,
that's true. Yeah.
but it's cool that we all have. It leaves so much room for interpretation, and I love it. Like when you got records like that have something that grabs you, and that you could. It's abstract music for sure, and just the fact that there's so many different ways to approach it. Someone said ritual, voodoo ceremonial, horror, soundtrack, etc. Just so much different ways to take it, and none is wrong. And it's much more fun than if it was just, this is a country record about the Civil War.
Of course. Okay, so your first record you bought in Den Bosch was a record about the civil war in the United States, right?
My first record in Den Bosch, now I remember I bought two, and I'll be able to show it to you. It was one was an ethnomusicology record, cheap, and the second one was a sort of French fusion record. That
Okay.
and both that had been both that were on my radar, not necessarily like top radar, but like
Mhm.
like that. There was, but you know what? Den Bosch is so big that there was a metal record that I was after, and I figured I'm not gonna look for it because it's probably gonna be in Den Bosch. And the first two out of the first two metal sellers I went to, the second one had it at a price that was okay. It's
See?
like that, so big that if you're looking for something that has a little bit of a reputation and that is not the rarest absolute stuff, it will be there.
Yeah. You know, Santi, now that I have the vinyl room here in Düsseldorf, I got, of course, way more into contact with people and other record collectors, way more and way more different than you have when you have a VC channel. Talking to them, seeing them, being together for hours is totally different. And in your case, and of course in Thomas' case too, don't get me wrong, it makes total sense when you say, I look for records that are on my radar. When I was there the very first time, I think it's 3 or 4 years now, right, Santi?
Yeah.
I had some records on my list too. But of course, I did not see them. For you, it makes sense. You have 112,000 records in your head. The average person doesn't have the time to have that many records in their head. And my advice always is just go there, get an impression, enjoy, talk to people, look into bins, but without pressure, and see and get impressed at the moment and see what you find there. You get my point?
Yeah. Although I would say I went with Sava Dimitrov, and he was looking for very specific classic rock records, and he got them all.
Yeah, of course. If you, of course, if you're looking for scorpions, and not, I don't say that Saval is looking for scorpions. Don't get me wrong. Or of course, you find them there. But for example, I didn't find my Boards of Canada British first pressings over there at the time. Thomas, what do you think?
In my opinion, it's about having a lot on your want list that you know. I'm always saying I have 6,000 records on my want list, and then I'm happy if I see some of them on the record fair. I'm not going specific for anything.
Yeah.
I just learn the records that I want, and then I try to learn more records that I want. I never go for any specific records.
I guess also what we have to say is that, like, whatever advice or consideration we give is relative to our usual state of digging. For example, I live around Stockholm.
Of course.
I have the shops of Stockholm and Discogs. So if I go to Den Bosch, I go to find something different than what I usually do. I have the way I dig on Discogs and locally, I find a lot of stuff that I don't know about. So when I go to Den Bosch, I try to find the stuff that I've learned about, but also be open-minded for both. But as you said, like as Thomas said, like the more info you have in your head, the more options you have.
Absolutely, that's all, like always in life, and that's so amazing. If you are a really lucky person and have the opportunity to go through Den Bosch with Stanti, it's an amazing opportunity and really cool to see. But that's not from this world, in a way. It's not.
I think-
It's not stunty.
I think the world is changing.
This is not a bad thing.
No. But even though I think the world is changing quite rapidly, and from what I could see this time in Den Bosch, and Thomas to tell us about WFMU. I know my friends at WFMU who 2 years ago they were only looking for indie, jazz, and all that. Now they were like buying dub and Brazilian records. So 2 years ago, they wouldn't have bet that they would be spending good money on these records. 3-4 years ago, I wouldn't have bet I would spend good money on ethnomusicology records, because they were on my radar, but they were not necessarily a priority, or the knowledge I had was more surface than it is now. And I see a lot of collectors. I mean, if you go to Den Bosch, I would say that 30% of the people who go there, they are serious music lovers, collectors.
Yes.
Sometimes in a niche and sometimes in general.
Way more than on regular record fairs.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be provocative, but that's what I think. That New York record fair you can compare it to the Düsseldorf record fair. You can compare it to the Dortmund record fair, even by size. But Den Bosch is a total different ball game. Why? Because I know several sellers now who only go to Den Bosch, only, and they prepare 6 months for going to Den Bosch.
I'll give you an example, though.
And that's a big difference, Thomas. Don't you agree? And then you give your example. Thomas, you agree?
I agree on that. Yeah. It's become the place where the sellers from Europe meets, and now it's even the seller that American sellers go to more and more come over to be at that record fair.
It used to be a little more of a seller's fair than Bosch. Sellers going to Den Bosch to buy records for their stores. It's true.
But I would say one thing to the thing we talked about before, that mostly when I go to a record fair like Den Bosch, I look for records on the walls that I don't know of. I don't look for the one I know of, because that will be easy.
Because he has 30,000 records in his collection.
But those I don't know of, I will take a listening to and find out what is this, because that's what excites me much more than to find something that I already know of.
And you can do that in several different ways. Andy Vodal, the DJ who ran Finders Keepers, the great label.
We met him there. Thomas, we met him over there. Yeah.
A year and a half ago, he ended the label because it kind of had run its course. He got the hype originally, and it was getting harder and harder in his own niche.
He's such a crazy and nice person. He was amazing.
So he was there, and we talked a little bit, and he used to say that there was a time when he would not buy records during the year. He would only build a budget, as Thomas said, for these 2 times a year to go to Den Bosch, and that's where he was doing 100% of his record buying. Now, since he stopped the label, he changed a little bit. Now he's only looking for records he doesn't know anything about.
Okay.
That's a little bit what I'm doing as well.
Yeah, but he's in a very special position in life as well, and we're all a little bit different, and that's the beauty with Den Bosch, is that there are it suits quite a lot of different types of needs. Whereas I suspect that if I could go to the WFMU record fair and come out empty-handed. It could happen.
It could not happen in Den Bosch.
No, impossible. And even if you only bring a small budget, you will find stuff in Den Bosch. Impossible to not get something.
But what is it? Yeah, but you are a special person and with a special taste. Is that the reason why you go out empty-handed in New York?
This is a lot of people like that. Yeah.
What an
So,
amazing
he-
cover art.
Yeah, really great. Probably my favorite cover of their whole catalog. And there's a reason, a special reason why I got that track, but like that record. But you'll figure it out on Friday on my stream. But it's yeah, that was the record I was talking about. I figured like I should be able to find this in Den Bosch. Like
Mhm.
it shouldn't be a problem.
And you did.
And I did without having to struggle. Whereas if you live wherever, even in Stockholm here, yeah, I could find it, but I have to be there the day it is. If I'm at the day Den Bosch is, it's gonna be there. A few copies of it.
Thomas, you have some music for us?
Yes, I got inspired from your question before. What was the first record you bought in the record fair?
Okay.
And I found it. And it was a German one.
That's always good.
This one.
Let me see. Jaco Aber doesn't look too German though.
No, it doesn't. But you can see here.
Teledeck, yeah.
Hamburg.
Okay, let's listen to it.
So that was the first record I found there. And I didn't know of it. I just saw it on the wall and say, what is this? This looks interesting.
So you go to New York and buy a German record. Okay.
Yakabo, no bookies, Yakabo, mon propre chachamo, agro 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 Yakwabo, no bookings Yakwabo, Mokrafo Chachamu, Abroya Yadamu. Yakwabo, no bookings Yakwabo, Mokrafo Chachamu, Abroya Yadamu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, that was your first buy at the New York Record Fair. Was it a cover buy? Because there's a good question from one of our viewers. Let me. Grasshoppers TV is asking, was this a blind buy, or did you listen to it and then buy it? I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
You listen on your phone. I know that you listen on your phone if it's possible, and then you buy it.
Yeah. I saw it on the wall, and I didn't know it, and I thought the cover looked interesting. I was like, "What is this?" I had to listen to it, and I liked it, and then I asked for a price and say, "Okay, I'll be interested if I can get it for this amount," and I bought it.
Which amount? Which amount?
They asked €300 for it, $300 for it, and
Yeah.
I paid $250.
Oh, that sounds decent. But this is, Stunty knows, I'm a big fan of cover buys, and I don't listen.
The problem is,
but that cover art is a Thomas Busk record without any doubt, right, Stunty?
The thing is that there's a lot of Roomba records in Africa that have really cool art covers, and when you buy them, you end up with a Roomba record.
Okay, yeah. I'm afraid that's why I won't buy that one.
I had a different problem with this one.
Yeah,
is that it comes in other versions as well from Ghana, and I already had that one. So I didn't realize that until I came home, because it has a totally different cover.
So that is a double now.
I was so close to buying a really cool Italian library from a private dealer on the first day.
Yeah.
And thank God I checked. I listened to it, and thank God I checked my Discogs, because I had that record, but a different pressing with a different cover.
Okay. Here's another nice question from Justin. Thomas, Stunty, do you guys use the same digging strategy at WFMU and Den Bosch?
So, as I haven't gone to WFMU, but I know it. I know how it looks. I know how many sellers. My strategy on this Den Bosch, so they released the list of the sellers a month before. So I go through all of them. I check if they have an online catalog on Discogs or a website. I also, if they don't, I check if they have a Facebook that can give me an idea of what kind of stuff they have. And the first thing I look for is if it's a new seller, if it's the first time, if it's some guy coming to sell his collection. If there's someone like that and it looks like it could be interesting, that would be my number one priority. But there's also one thing. When you go to Den Bosch time after time, you learn about some traditions. There's a guy who, Michel Klinkhammer, the seller. So he has a booth with two other guys. And one of the other guys, who usually a German guy who has red hair, he is often the very first one to open on the Friday, very early. And what he does is he puts 10 boxes on the floor, a line of boxes, and then 2 boxes of like collectors. The boxes on the floor have collectors, but so the first one who arrives gets to check the first box. The second who arrives gets to wait for the first one to have finished with the first box and move to the second box. See? You have to know that.
I like it and I hate it.
But that's what I mean, is there's a lot of, the more experience you have, the more you learn about these things. That this guy, he always has the nice stuff and the prices are always very nice and you can still negotiate. So of course you want to be there as early as possible with him.
No, I don't, but you want. I don't.
Oh, of course. Like,
we are talking records. We are talking records here, not beautiful women.
It's the same.
Not that answer. It becomes more and more the same. I agree.
But I was using that example to answer the question about strategies.
No, wonderful. No, it's wonderful that you tell that. I'm just kidding. I'm just silly.
Like, for example, that a seller, someone was asking if there are artists, musicians who are selling. Timo Van Luc is an artist, and he's selling his private collection, the stuff he digs to sell, and his own catalog. With him, you would think you don't need to go there as he opens, unless he has something exceptional, because he tends to have every now and then. Sometimes he's a bit lazy and it's the same stuff he had the season before, but sometimes he'll step up and then you want to be first.
Yes, but that what you just talked about and what you just told us, and I can imagine that Thomas agrees, makes Den Bosch a very special event, because as I stated 40 minutes earlier, you have sellers over there who don't go to other fairs. Remember the seller, when we were there the first time, I detected that seller.
Oh, yeah. With the white hair.
Yeah, exactly. Who is a musician, who has a label. He's only there in Den Bosch. And so many are only in Den Bosch.
But you know what? It's probably the...
Marcel.
Yeah.
Bagita, only in Den Bosch.
No, Bagita does other...
Stunty, that's true, but not with that amount of records. Way smaller.
Oh yeah, probably. He's like a small ship, a small boat, Bagita on Den Bosch. But for WFMU, I know that like my friends who go there, like they identified a seller last year, Patrick, a French seller that has a lot of French jazz. That was one of their priorities. They were eagerly waiting for him to open. So the more research you do, and the more also you discover by being there over and over, the more you start to develop strategies, obviously.
Yeah. Thomas, anything to add? Or do we just get into music?
Well, I spoke to the French seller, and he was like, okay, you're from Europe, you see the stuff I have here. But the Americans were quite excited by the stuff. He had good stuff, but stuff that I already have, because it's from Europe.
Do you think, before I get into another piece of music, Thomas, Stunty, in that order, do you think that some of those sellers who only goes to Den Bosch and offers their stock over there, would be successful in New York? What do you think, Thomas?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, the problem is always bringing the records back and forth. And if you have 5,000 really, really, really good records, would you ship them on a pallet somewhere where you don't know, to somebody you don't know, reasoning it to make sure that it comes to a record fair on the right day?
You know the answer, right?
Yeah, but people do that. But I'm a little bit like, it's a big chance to take. If you have a box of really extreme rare records and it disappear, what would you do then? Stuff like that's happened.
Yeah. Stanti, you nodded already. You think they would be successful?
If they can bring the inventory, it would like most of the local dealers wouldn't stand a chance.
Or go into that. That's interesting. Why?
Well, even I mean, I guess it's a sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thomas was saying that they're looking mostly for American records, but that's also because that's what's available.
True, absolutely true. Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, always. Yeah.
But there's a yep.
I'm just saying, not many people will know any Danish records, even though I bring the best one ever. They will not know at all.
There's a lot of people in the US and a lot of people with money, and there's a lot of people who buy records for prestige as well. Everywhere in the world. There are records that are like jazz records that everyone wants, that are expensive and rare. And then there are records, and these records often the seller will kind of overprice them, and you can negotiate till the last day because like everyone knows they're a little bit too expensive and it's a game in a way. But then there are records like this one, which when we arrive at the fair, we didn't know it existed because it was not on Discogs and no one knew it really existed. So let me show.
Is that the test pressing of the record that never came out?
It's it's the art edition of this record that was only released in 200 copies in 1971.
Nice.
And I knew of the record, but I didn't know of that edition. And the seller had this was only released in 15 copies.
Wow.
The seller had 5 copies that he got from the son of the artist.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So it was quite very highly priced. At first, I thought, okay, I have some time. I'll try. I'll wait till the last day and try to get a copy for me and for my buddy Steve, and negotiate a little bit. And when I arrived, there was only 1 copy left. So I thought, oh, okay. And that made me think a little bit about, and I think Thomas knows that from even before me, that seller also had a record that was the test pressing of an album that has never been released, that we didn't know about until he found them from the same artist. And then the price was very, very high. But then that's when we enter the territory we all have talked about, that some records could be priced 5 euros or 5,000. It's the same. They're totally invisible. There's like, you probably will only have the chance to get them one time in your life, if ever. And now was the chance. So what do? Do you break the bank or not? Suddenly you have to be able to shift the gear if you're really excited by that record. Like the price, it's a lot, it's too much. Too much doesn't mean anything. Too much means it's like, what do I have on my bank account, and am I excited by it or not?
Well,
and
I love Grasshopper TV. Here's the answer. Yes, break the bank. Wonderful answer.
But the funny thing is that record on the wall, I thought like, I'll make a good offer for both this one and the other one.
Yeah.
And you will live up. Yeah.
And the interesting thing, and you tell me what you think, Thomas. So the guy who was selling, suddenly he was like, he was sweating. Like, And
The
then
very second you said I want to buy it, he started sweating, right?
yeah, and he said, let me. Can you give me a moment to think about it? I need a moment to think about it. And then he told me like, oh, I'm sorry, but I can't sell it. So I basically, without knowing, I called his bluff. He had it to advertise it in a way, but
To
he was
show
not
off,
ready.
yeah,
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 he was
yeah,
not ready to sell.
yeah.
Which played to my advantage because he felt bad and he gave me a nice discount on on the other record. He was not giving any discount off on, because why should he? Like, this record is already almost unique, the one I got. So I mean, if he doesn't want to sell, like, what can I say? Fair enough. But
Of course. Stanti, would you agree when I say that November Den Bosch is way more interesting than April?
that's what I've been saying from the get-go, because of logic. Like, dealers who have shops or who have classified in the papers, they always get people who call them, I have a collection. But the time when they can go out on car boot sales or on digging trips, it's not during winter, unless you
No.
live in Mexico. And
Do you know somebody who lives in Mexico? We do, by the way.
yeah.
Thomas.
But even for them, it's a different season. So I think, and in most certainly, this edition of Den Bosch was the proof of, like, oh, it's always better in November. You will find stuff in April,
Of
and
course.
you can get lucky, and maybe in April the best thing for you is there. But statistically,
It's in November.
yeah.
It's November. Thomas, you agree, or do you see there a difference? Or
No, I think I agree. I haven't thought so much about it, but yeah, I think it's right. But when I see those records, those you will never see in America.
Yeah.
Never. But what you could find in America is, like, I found this one that I very rare see in Europe.
give me a second. Reflections in the Sea of Nurnen. What is it, Thomas? Looks amazing.
Yeah, but it's one of those labels that I collect, and I already have a copy of this, but it's a fair copy, I would say. It's not really nice.
Yeah.
And in America, that's where you can log and find a sealed copy of this.
A sealed copy, okay.
I don't know if they were sealed, but I saw 2 copies of that in Den Bosch this year.
Yeah, it's a
It's a very desirable record. Like, it's a grail for a lot of people.
Tell us about the record, please. What is it? So we cannot listen to it because it's sealed.
Yeah.
But what is it, Santi? What kind of record is it?
Let Thomas say.
Okay, if he wants to.
It's a very small label, Tribe, which
Tribe. I knew the logo. Okay, it's Tribe. Yeah.
They have like 6 releases or something.
Yeah, it has a little bit more, but it's
there has to be more, Santi, because Vinyl on Demand. No, Vinyl Me Please put out a box set of Tribe records, and it was amazing.
This must have been in there. They're well known. It's not like a secret thing anymore. But it's also a spiritual jazz thing that is become difficult to find anymore. And when you find it, it's often quite scratched. And this one was the last one I didn't have in a good condition. There's an even rare copy of this one where this picture is colored. There's only a few copies made of that one.
Hey, Joe wanted to know what seller had that record.
It was a seller from Boston. I can't remember his name, but he had 100 records that I wanted.
100 only.
He was selling his private collection to buy a house in Japan.
Okay.
So he had good stuff. It was the rare Italian stuff as well, but it was nothing was cheap.
Okay, it's a wall of records. Stunty, before we go on, play some music for us, please.
Yes. Wait a second. I'm gonna play the very last record I found in Den Bosch this time.
Okay, that's nice.
just keeps growing and growing. It's
Oh,
an
that was
amazing
lovely.
record.
Yeah. And that was the last one you bought.
Now that I think of it, I bought one last by almost like just because it was there. Like
When the lights went on out and you were the only one there.
I mean, when I allowed myself to sit and to be finished,
Yeah.
and then I was with Paul Zhu and Sava and Greg, and I was done, and then I just raised and went to a booth in front of us to get something that I knew was there, and he was not giving me a good discount. He was only giving me like 15%, and I thought I could get
That's
better.
a good discount. Stanti, stop it. God damn it.
Yeah, well, but this.
Learn how to earn more money, then it's easy.
So,
that was a tough one.
So this is Véronique Chalot, one of her she has 2 solo albums and one with a group.
Yeah.
This is her with a group. It came out on Materiali Sonori, Italian label. So she's only playing with Italian musicians, and she's a hurdy-gurdy girl. And that's what I call good girl folk music.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really good.
What year was it?
78, 79, something, 78, 79, 79. And you can see she doesn't have sex without condoms. Like she's a good girl, obviously.
Did you say she's a good girl because she has sex without condoms, or she has with condoms? She will not have sex without condoms. And that's a good girl?
Yeah, that's a good girl.
Okay.
She plays René, you see, and
I'm a child of the 80s. We see that completely different.
Yeah. So she was part of, but just imagine, like in the 70s, where everyone is taking drugs and going crazy. She is doing medieval music.
Yeah.
Of course, like it's sort of hybrid, but it's yeah. And funny thing, it's not a record I've been aware of for a long time. I remember going through the whole catalog of this label, Materiali Sonori, that has some cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And I missed that one because, it looked like a good girl folk thing, and I couldn't listen to it. And I don't know, maybe a year ago, I discovered, this is probably more interesting when I saw the back of the cover.
Yeah, the back of the cover is amazing. I totally agree.
Yeah. And it was only like a couple of months ago that I decided, okay, I'm really gonna look for it actively now. And it was in Den Bosch. I think I paid 45.50 for it. I got it I paid for 2 records, 110 euros for 2 records, and this was the cheaper one of the 2. So
that's nice. So finally, somebody asked me a question too. So I don't have to ask all the questions.
I can answer that one, so you don't need to. If you don't.
Yeah, I want to answer that one because, of course, first of all, it's from Daniel, and I answer every question from Daniel. Maybe not on a live screen, but but that one I will answer on the live screen. Michael, did you have a booth at Den Bosch? No. Short answer, no. Longer answer comes now. Thomas and me, we had for 2 Den Bosch, we had our booth, and that was really, really fun. But you can only do fun for 2 times max. And so we didn't do it again. But when we did it, it was, of course, amazing. And I even didn't go this time. And I'm not sure if I go next time, because in my situation right now with the vinyl room, I have my small personal Den Bosch every weekend. You know, I get from Thomas and DJ Zocchi, I get between 150 and 300 records each week. And that's a lot of records, and it's a lot of people, and it's a lot of social context. And for me, the last 3 times of the 6 times I've been there, it was all about socializing, meeting people, talk to people, which is for me the way more funnier part than going to dirty record bins. But I have that now on a Friday and a Saturday every week. So I decided not to go there. Thomas and Thomas planned to come last week and to the vinyl room, but he was he came back with a fever and it didn't happen. So I would have been there on Sunday with him, but for me alone, no. So I didn't have a booth. I even wasn't there for a reason I just talked about. And
the shop was busy.
It's not the shop that's busy. It will be busy next week, so I could have gone there. But I have now enough records each week, Stunty. Each week. I don't know about that are interesting. I want to listen to. I want to talk to people. So that's in my personal situation, that's just enough for me. We had a lot of customers, by the way, Thomas and Stunty, who was going to Den Bosch and came by the vinyl room. I even opened on the way.
Bosch, yeah.
We are 1 hour 20 minutes from Den Bosch.
Yeah.
So that's my personal Den Bosch, but for me that's enough.
I want to address 2 points, one in the comments and one you just made. First one about the dirty record bins. If you're traveling to Den Bosch by plane, well, in the plane, ask the waitress, the host, the air personnel for wet napkins. Like fill your pockets with wet.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the OBC shop, the vinyl room is open. It's there. I just checked it. It's not down because it's not down.
And Mojo Rising 75. Yes, there are medieval condoms. Literally, they were making condoms out of leather since the 9th century or so, because some rich people didn't want to have more kids. I'm not saying it was comfortable, but it existed, condoms in the medieval times. Had to be said.
Okay. So, Thomas, when it comes to you personally, you have to choose. Is it New York or is it Den Bosch?
I think I like to be on both, but
yeah, of course. If you have to decide.
Mostly, I'm into small.
If you have to advise someone who can't do both, who can only do one, and who can do either of one, like it's possible to do both, but only one.
If he's into jazz, he will find nearly all Blue Note in excellent or near mint condition in New York.
Wow. Okay.
If he's into spiritual music, music from Turkey, from Denmark, from Sweden, don't go to America. So it's a little bit different things you go for if you're choosing. I like small because then I like to come back to the same sellers. It's more social when it's smaller, you see the same people again and again, and you go back and talk. In Den Bosch, I'll be a little bit in a rush to get to the next booth, next room, to the next seller. Here you have more times, to get much closer to the seller, I would say.
There's a lot of sellers though in Den Bosch that throughout the 3 days I visited like 4 or 5 times. Sometimes I go and sit with them, have drinks during the fair. So you can be.
I know
you're getting old. You have drinks, Stunty. You're getting old.
Of course.
At some point, you know that there's a lot more you want to see. In smaller record fairs, you know when you've seen it all, and then you can relax a little bit and enjoy the people and more than digging for records.
it's true that it's for people like us, it's difficult to relax when you have the feeling that there's so much more that you haven't seen that is there.
Yeah.
No,
Obviously.
no, not like us. I'm not. I'm not that way, Stunty. I'm not. I really am not. I care more for the people than for the records in that kind of occasions.
For me, it's the same. Like,
No, it's not. You're different.
no, it is because there's so many records you have.
No, sorry, Stunty. I saw you. Or you have changed completely.
No, because there's so many records that you have to develop a personal connection with the seller to get it. You have to. There's many record sellers that like will sell to you when they like you or when you like for whatever it is, and also some sellers that will sell you to the price you want.
Yeah, but Santi, that is a point where we are totally different.
Maybe
in a way, because if I buy a record in Den Bosch or New York or wherever, it's for me.
Yeah.
And I don't care for the last 2 cents. I just don't. I don't care. I want that record. I want him to be happy, and I want to be happy. And I appreciate that he has that record in a condition that I am happy with.
So I'll give you an example. I got this record, which
Yeah.
you know, Michael, is like one of my top girls.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it.
Yeah. It's
And
like
it's an amazing record, yeah.
6 LP box set.
Yeah.
If you look it up on Discogs, people are selling it around 3,000 euros. I got it. I traded it for a record I had that was really, that is really rare. Not as desirable as this, but for the person who had doubles of this, it was very desirable. So he literally offered me a deal of this record plus 2 other desirable record, not nearly as expensive as this, but still like very desirable for my 7-inch alone. I told him.
Was it the Parmigiani?
No.
Okay, good.
No, obviously no. But so I told him I need to give you some extra money because I feel I would feel bad for that trade. He didn't ask for it, but I felt I'm going to give you 300 euros on top of that.
No, I didn't mean that in a bad way. Oh,
no,
sorry.
I understand. I understand. I'm just giving one example that because you maybe in your case, Michael, so far, like the only currency you had to give away was money.
Oh, come on! That sounds terrible.
No. In the sense that no, it's the same thing as with most people because the records you want, like people have it for sale, and they want money for it, and you want the record. Normal. Yeah. For me, there's some records I want that are not for sale, but people have them. They have them for different purposes, for trading, or they don't know what they want to do. There was a seller who had a production acetate of a Jane Birkin album, the one that she did after Melody Nelson.
Yeah.
Production acetate, versions that were never released. He didn't know what to charge for it, so he brought it to start discussions with people. There's a lot of stuff like that can happen on a place like Den Bosch, that you're finding information and helping other people with your own information, so you develop.
But Santi, don't get. Okay. In your case, I totally agree. And then we are again at the point of 112,000 records in your head. I saw other people, Jason, for example, and many other people who came there with records to other dealers. Oh, I want that record, and I have this and this and this record. And the dealer said, with their face, not with their words, please don't. Are you kidding me? I can imagine that when you come with a very special 7-inch, in your case, it's different. But usually, a dealer don't want to trade.
So I disagree with that. And
Okay.
Thomas, tell us what you think. If you talk with dealers who have really desirable records and expensive ones, when you start to complain about the price, often they will say, yeah, I know, but bring me some trades. Most dealers here, they're also record collectors, or had been at one point, and they know what's desirable for them is the stuff that they can't get. So if you bring them what they can't get,
what they can't get. But if you have a very special record and they come with 12 copies of AC/DC, and that's what we are talking about here.
oh yeah, no, don't bring. Only if you bring trades, only bring stuff that is really special.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
need
what
to-
I'm talking about. Thomas, your turn.
You need to know the seller to do that. You need to know what you go into, and you need to offer some of your best things if you're going to do deals like that.
For example, Michel Klinghammer. If you bring him stuff, I mean, he's seen everything in
Yeah.
a way, but
Yeah.
in jazz. So don't. If you bring him something, either bring him something exceptional in jazz that he can make money out of it, or
Totally
something that
agree.
he doesn't know, or bring him some Arthur Russell that is rare because he's into that.
Again, I totally agree, but that's not what's usually going to happen. Please
But it
agree with
happens.
me on that. No, yeah, on your case, Santi.
No,
But-
not me. I'm a mine. Like you don't realize that. Like I think. Tell us what you think, Thomas. There's a lot of trades being made during the fair. A lot, like really thousands.
Mostly very expensive records. There's
Yeah.
more than 50% of the times it's sold, it's a trade.
Yeah.
But you need to bring stuff that you think he want better than the one he has.
That's what I'm talking about. But
can
that's rarely going to happen. Or
There's
Yeah.
millions of records, Michael.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
millions and millions.
no, we're talking. We're
It's two
talking.
different things you're talking about.
We're talking the same. I totally agree. But you cannot change a Bosch Divanian against 80 AC/DC.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. And some people think that.
But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of records like Vashti Bunyan. That's what I'm saying. And all the
Again,
dealers, they
I
can't
agree.
know everything.
Yeah.
They can't know everything.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You have to be on the level of speciality. It has to be the same level of rarity. That's what I'm talking. Or even more, yeah.
But for I bring stuff to US, and he wants to have records from Turkey because they never see records from Turkey there. He wants to have Samrock records. He wants to have rare French stuff. So stuff that I can trade with some American stuff, and I think I can make a good deal. And he think he make a good deal because he gets stuff that he don't know about and that he get excited about, and then he excited to present to people because he has seen all the Blue Note records 5,000 times.
Yeah.
There's also, but even with the Blue Notes though, if you, for example, with Michel, who's also has a shop in Düsseldorf, Marcel, sorry. If you bring him, because it depends also on the size of the booth he has. Marcel has quite a big one.
Yeah.
So if you bring him,
And a busy one. And
a busy one,
Yeah.
he has to refill the bins throughout the fair. So if you bring him a 200 euro record that he can sell like that for 250 or 300, and you're making a trade with him, like if I buy something that is quite expensive but that not many people are wanting, he will give me 250 in trade. He will give me, instead of, he would buy it for 200, but he wouldn't buy it. But if he can,
but Marcel is an open wound because Thomas traded a record with Marcel that I really wanted to have.
Which one? Tell us.
Tell us, Thomas. You know, I'm not good with it. You know the black one. Strada East one, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Which one was it? Do you have the name in your head?
No, I
It's
can't
it's
remember.
it's fantastic. It looks a bit like a manga. It's a brilliant record. Brilliant.
But basically, I guess the lesson is that if you want the full experience with a place like that, if you can bring good trades, go the free, go early bird in either the US or the Netherlands. Do as much as you can. There's deals to be made from the first second to the last one, and yeah, if you're open-minded, like that's
Yeah.
also very helpful.
Yeah, but this discussion now, although in my opinion it's very interesting and very good, but that the kind of discussion goes beyond the average Den Bosch visitor. You know, a lot
You
of
might be
people.
right, but
Wait a second, Santi. A lot of people in the vinyl room say, "Oh yeah, are you going to Den Bosch?" No. And of the people who don't go there, always the same argument. It's overwhelming. It's too much. It's I have to go to too much stuff, which is not good to find one good record. And I agree with them in a certain way.
it can be like that if you choose it to be like that. I last time in April, I think I got home with 75, 80 records. This time with 45, and I was more happy. Back then I said, "Oh, this is the really exceptional," and this time it was quite different and even better in my opinion, but from a different perspective.
Mhm.
It's just about like if you're gonna do it only one time in your life, or if it's an exceptional thing and you want to make the best out of it to live the fullest possible experience, then I think that's the mentality to have. Like to there's so much fun to be had, and in as you say, the socializing that is being done during, before, after. There's so much preparation you can make that makes also the experience more fun. Like you
If you
contacted
go there the first time, and I'm in a better position than you, Stunty, to talk about that. Don't go alone. Don't start and go through every bin. Just walk around, get an impression, drink a cup of tea, drink a coffee, look around, get an impression, and don't force it.
It depends if you've done the preparation. If you've done the preparation, then use
Stunty,
it.
the average record collector don't have 2 weeks for the preparation.
No, it's not about 2 weeks. It's about like
It's 800. It's Stunty,
couple of
it's
evenings.
800 something dealers. It's
Yeah.
800 something dealers.
Yeah, but it's not every. There's a lot that you can like. You see, if you're not into free jazz, like don't. There's a lot that you can strike already. If you're not into metal, there's a lot you can strike already.
Yeah, if you are experienced, Stunty, you underestimate the level of experience. You know, and I'm not criticizing you. Don't
No,
don't
but
get me
I
wrong.
understand. But we're here to give advice of
Yeah,
from
exactly, and that's a very sound advice. I totally agree. See,
There's
Liam is now preparing for Den Bosch, but Liam is an experienced record collector. So he is not, Liam, you are not the average record collector. I'm sorry, you are not.
I don't know if there is such a thing as an average record collector, though. But that's a different topic.
Exactly. Yeah, but in lack for better words, okay? Excuse me.
the record we couldn't from Strada East was Chamac Ferrer.
Yeah.
That one.
Santi, play us some music? No, it's Thomas'
No, it's
turn,
Thomas,
right?
Thomas.
It's Thomas who plays us some music.
This one I bought in New York, and that's what I'm looking forward to play at a gig where people a little more like a party track.
I'm in the middle of a street. Yeah, I saw that. It's already up. Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Searching for a place and time. Every mountain I must climb. I never stop to take a rest. I'm in my prime and at my best.
I don't look down until I reach the top. What's on the ground may make me stop. And if I fall, shed not a tear. My ground is soft, I have no fear. Avalanche above my head, stop me, this I know.
My ground is soft, I have no fear. There's a golden stream on the mountain beam. It's embedded in my mind, with a resting place for weary face and a refuge for my mind.
Searching for a place and time. Every mountain must I climb. Never stop to take a rest. I'm in my prime and I'm at my best. I'm able to be what I wanna be. I'm able to be what I wanna be.
Ooh, you bought that in New York?
Yes.
Oh, so interesting comment by Mukwum. Median at Discogs 167, but the cheapest available for 3.5 grand. I'd say it hasn't been sold for 5 years, or what is it?
I didn't look into that. I think it's maybe some DJ played it and suddenly everybody it was sold out, or maybe it's haven't been sold since 2020 and the new prices are coming up are much more expensive.
Stunty, any points on that one?
There's quite a few records like that on Discogs where median is like way under. You know, sometimes the records are very rare, and at one point, one guy who has a lot of money gets frustrated and pulls the trigger on a stupid price. I mean, there's a lot of dealers who put some records on that stupid price, and they will tell you the price is stupid, but if anyone is ready to pay for that, yeah. And I'm sorry to say, but that's becoming the reality for a lot of records.
But if it's the only one, Stunty, the only one, is that the new price? Or would you say, no, I don't accept that?
Not totally, but like it becomes a useful information.
The next one might have put it up for 5,000, and the next one put it up for 4. Because
or a classic thing. Let's have round numbers. A record has like has sold maybe 4 times. First, when it was put on Discogs and kind of unknown, and it sells for like $12. Next copy sells for 20. Next copy, a long time later, there's one 30. It gets sold immediately. Then the dealer has it and puts it at 2,000. For 5 years, no other copies. Someone decides to buy it anyways. Then 3 other dealers put it at 2,000 or 2,500. Nothing sells for 2 years. After 2 years, someone has it again, puts it at a price where he will sell it because he wants to sell it. And then a new game starts. That the rules have to be reinvented.
I think we should do another OBC wall of records where we play some music and discuss it, because it's such a complicated topic. I see that now in the vinyl room. I get a copy from Thomas or DJ Zocchi, and it's 25 euros, and it's sold. Then, if we are lucky, we get a second copy. 25 euros, sold, same day. I said, okay, Thomas, DJ Zocchi, if you sell that record for 25 euros, I've studied economics. So that means you have hundreds of them. And then you know the answer, Stunty, right? No. And then I say, but why is it 25 euros and it got sold always the very first day? There is something wrong with the pricing. Stunty, now it's your turn.
I was thinking about that today. There's a very cool experimental modern classical Swedish record that I've had for years. And it's a record that's worth like between 40 and 60 euros all the time.
Yeah.
And today I saw on a shop's Instagram that they had it in it. There's too many copies available for it to sell at 60 euros all the time. Too many.
Okay.
So we have decided that the price of that record is that, but for it to remain that, it means we have to do some theater, in the sense that there will be quite some time before the next copy gets sold, because there's not enough people who are hyped to it. It's just there's too many copies available for it to remain right now a 60 euro record at every sale, even a 40, I would say.
Okay, Thomas, then you answer my question. Why do you sell a copy you don't have 20 times in your shop and it got sold the very first day for 25 euros. I will never understand that.
Because I had it the 25 times and it got sold 25 times, and it's not more value than the other one. It's not better than the one next to it that has the same price, the same value. So if you do that, you will overprice all your records because you cannot, you don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
And of course, there's stuff that it's a YouTube.
But do you even get my point?
If it's a YouTube record, there's 5 million of them. It will never be expensive.
But it got sold. Remember the one with the sexiest, the funkiest man alive? The record I wanted. And when copy for me, it was, and I played it. It was sold.
Michael,
the thing is, a copy. I don't have it.
Michael, if you want to do a shop where you sell 25, 30 euro records all the fucking time, you can do it.
Yeah.
Then you decide if it's fun for you or not to only have Prince, David Bowie,
no, that's
in your shop.
No,
I understand. I'm making a larger one. I'm saying
it's not Prince. No. That's
but the thing, Michael, I understand your point. I think the thing is that Thomas has experienced, like, okay, you get this record now and it sells for that price.
Mm-hmm.
If you've already sold that one for 10 years, 15 years for that price, maybe you have tried to sell it for higher and you've experienced catastrophe.
No, that's not Santi, that's not what's the reality. It's not. Because that's not what people care. They don't care for 25 or 30.
But for me, there's 100 records on stacks that are better than that one.
For you,
should I overprice that one?
Yeah. No. I love it. I love it that we are so cheap. I love it, but I don't understand.
It's because you don't know the catalog. You don't know the prices of that catalog. You don't know which one are the good ones on that catalog. So you experience a ship one for you. You find out there's a good track on it. You play it. It's sold. You could take another 100 on stacks. It will be sold right away as well. So
for me, on the laws of economics, they are underpriced.
Yeah, but it's you can find one on Discogs for €5. So at some point, it will be ridiculous to take €60 for it.
I agree.
Imagine if you try to sell a UB40 record for $60, Michael. Maybe you managed to do it one time. Maybe you do it one time, but then what do we think about it?
That was for all the people who know the history of the vinyl community.
I'm being facetious, but not really. Like, in the sense that, like, if you manage to sell a record for more, like Thomas explained it very well, that you can sell it for 25 in a shop, but you can also, like, if you're patient enough, there's millions or thousands of copies available, and if you start to overplay your cards, people will talk, and you will build a reputation.
When I asked that question, I asked it on a certain. I knew your answers. I anticipated your answers, of course, in a way. And I liked your answers, but what people do, and I understand that, is that it's not that specific record that's the competition. It's all of the records that that when you have a record store, that's so interesting to see. That record I do like, but that's too expensive, so I take another record, and that's so interesting to see. That the records amongst each others are the competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's very interesting to see. Very interesting. On an economics, if you are into economics, that's interesting. That is market-wise. That's very strange, but it is as it is when it comes to record. Very interesting to see.
There's this thing that is also at the ground of our own original relationship, Michael, like originals versus reissues.
Yeah.
There's very few businesses that deals with items that can't be reproduced or improved. Like
True.
again, we're talking like what we're talking about is often originals of so that that have a finite number and
Yeah.
and this the finite number of this is not the same as the finite number of an original U2 or even a closer from Joy Division.
True, absolutely true. That makes that market very, very special, right? Yeah.
I
Very
have to
interesting.
say one thing here because I can see a lot of the UB40, One of the records I look most for at the moment is a remix of a new of a UB40 track.
Yeah, but you know, the UB40 thing is a very special thing, and it has a lot of history.
But there's a new remix out, and it's amazing. It's the one we played mostly at the office. I only have it on YouTube, but it's a Friday song we have here every Friday.
Okay.
I'm also looking for a UB40 record. Full disclosure, so
You are?
yeah.
See?
But
Okay. I think we are over 2 hours now. And Stunty will find his Red Wine remix at a certain point. But for today, we just close without music.
What?
Without no closing track today. No closing track. We keep all the music for next week. It was amazing. Thank you for sharing all your experience, Thomas, in New York.
You're welcome.
Stunty in Den Bosch. And I'm so happy for you that you had that amazing weekend. And now we leave Stunty with his minus 17 degrees in Sweden.
Oh no, it's quite warm in now that I had this. You see, so close.
Yeah. And I started. Oh, do you hear that? No, I don't care if I hear it. If you have minus 17 degrees outside, we all can stand. If you can hear it, if not, even better. Thank you so much, guys.
And come on Friday, I'll play a lot of these records. It should be fun.
You make a Den Bosch special or you don't?
Kind of, yeah. I also have new stuff, and I probably will have a guest from Egypt.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay, then I wish you all the best for Friday. Thomas, any words?
Just like next week, I will play you some stuff that I bought in America as well. Some stuff from Cuba. That's.
Oh, we will get into that next week. Next week we will have more music.
We'll get into this next week. This is really interesting.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Stunty. See you all next week, I hope. Bye.
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 Bye.